My name is Gergana. My son's name is Daniel. We call him Danny. He is 9 months old, and we did the PEPS newborn group. Honestly, I was completely unprepared. I always thought the hardest part is giving birth. Nobody tells you that the hardest part begins afterwards. The hardest thing about parenting in a pandemic and about the pandemic in general, I think, is fear. There's a lot of fear with being a new parent to begin with, and then being surrounded by a scary world is very scary. The PEPS group really supported me, allowing me to have a community of people that I could share my fears with, share my good moments with, share my questions with, and just really feel like I belong to a group that understands me and that's going through the same thing that I'm going through. The intimate space that PEPS create, I think, really stems from the fact that we have just become moms. There's a whole lot of anxiety and love and really intense emotions that are happening, which I think made us all willing to be vulnerable and to be open and to share not just the good things that we're going through, but also the bad and the really hard things. Sometimes when you're going through something, you think to yourself that you're the only one in the world that's really hurt and that is going through something. And then with all of us being able to open up, I think you start realizing that hard things happen and everybody's going through something. Sometimes it's nice to talk about it and to understand that there are other people that understand. I'm grateful to PEPS for allowing me to not be alone through this new experience that's beautiful and hard at the same time. It is magical to be surrounded by little tiny humans and going through the experience of becoming a new parent with a community.
My name is Posey, and I am the parent to 2 kids, a daughter named Oza, who's 3.5, and a son named Theo, who's 9 months. My first PEPS group was a newborn PEPS group. My second PEPS group was a PEPS group that I led. And then after that, I led 4 groups total in 2020 and 2021. I joined a Connecting Me Expecting group when I was pregnant. After my son was born, I joined a newborn group and also a second time around group. So that's 8 groups.
Okay, I think we're ready.
All right, here we go. I love PEPS because I think people underestimate how important it is to have other people around. I led one group where after the 3rd meeting, 3 separate dads in the same group said, I could not believe that I got roped into 2 hours on a Wednesday evening, and I did not want to be a part of this. But I'm so glad that I'm here because I feel really connected to all of you. It's really great to just have other people that you can process your experience with. And I also think it's great to just normalize some of what's really hard about it. One nice thing about the pandemic actually is that people are no longer embarrassed to want community or to need friends or to just need somebody that they can talk to about something. And I heard from people in the groups that I led, and I felt the same way myself. Like, it's amazing the kind of connections that you can make with people. My favorite part about leading is when somebody in the group just kind of like has a breakthrough or a breakdown or like a revelation. Somebody in my group once said, parenting is really boring. It's so boring. And then everybody else in the group was like, yes, it's really boring. I'm bored all the time. What do you do? And I love it when people can just sort of like be honest about what's going on for them, that you can create a space where people feel comfortable enough to say these things that they don't think they're supposed to say. And then as soon as they say them, there's a whole group of people to be like, thank you so much for trusting us to say that. And we are here for you. I love those moments. The magic of PEPS is parents becoming parents together.
I love that. How are you doing? Oh.
My name is Rasna, my son's name is Emery, and he's 8 months old, and we were a part of the newborn PEPS group. I joined PEPS because my sister, she had done a PEPS group and really spoke highly of her experience and the sense of community that it created for her and her kids. and I wanted to have that same community and outlet, and especially during this time when we can't see very many people face to face, I thought it was going to be important for me to create that space for myself and as well for Emery. I probably started noticing that I maybe had an issue with postpartum anxiety or depression when Emery was around probably 2 months old. I do think that during our PEPS groups, kind of saying things out loud was really helpful. We were able to share some raw feelings with each other. And in particular, I felt like we touched on some of the postpartum depression and anxiety, which I think without that outlet, I may not have picked up on maybe some things I was experiencing, and also, sharing that with my husband and family. So at what point did you start to think that I may have postpartum anxiety?
I thought you maybe started to show signs of postpartum anxiety when the excessive crying over things, out of our control, speaking about dreams of things happening to Emery, bad things happening to Emery.
So are there any ways that you think PEPS helped you?
Yeah, PEPS helped me because they helped you with things that I couldn't help you with. They helped me by helping you, essentially.
I really feel like the magic of PEPS is the ability for us to form connections and these bonds that will just grow and develop more over time.